But in the midst of this, there was a thought that came over me, and it simply was, how did I get here? And beloved, I wonder, have you ever had a moment in life where you asked the same question? Maybe you were going to Walmart, Dollar General, or maybe even Popeyes. And when you got in the line, you start thinking, what was I even supposed to get when I came here? Or maybe for many of us in the room, life has weighed you down. Life, because of the busyness of life, because you've been doing the same thing over and over, you've woken up many times asking yourself the question, how did I get here? Maybe you're older in life, maybe you're hitting the retirement age, and you wonder, how did I get here? Maybe you're stuck in a marriage that you really don't want to be in, and you're asking, how did I get here? Maybe you're stuck dealing with the same person just in a different body, and you keep asking yourself, how did I get here? Beloved, if this is you this morning, I simply stopped by to tell you that you're not by yourself, because in our text today, Elijah is feeling the same thing. Elijah, he's stressed out, and he's on the run from Queen Jezebel, and he's gotten to a cave, and he's asked himself a question, how did I get here? Beloved, in our text, Elijah was in a deep and dark depression because his greatest victory on Mount Carmel has now turned into a deep, dark dungeon of despair. He called fire down from heaven. He killed 450 prophets, but now Elijah is feeling bad. Elijah is having a self-pity party. And in the midst of it, Elijah asks, how did I get here? Beloved, if you have your pen and paper, the first thing the text is going to show us is that the reason why you may be in a cave and why you may be asking, how did I get here, is because you're thinking past tense while God is thinking present and future tense. For in the text, if you look closely at the text says that first Elijah went to Mount Horeb. Mount Horeb is known as Mount Sinai. Mount Horeb, it is the place where Moses started talking, a burning bush started talking to Moses, and it said, Moses, take your shoes off, because this is holy ground. Mount Sinai is the place where Moses got the 10 commandments, came down, and that's where the presence of God was. So Elijah, in his mind, while he's struggling with life, while he's depressed, the only thing Elijah can think about is, I got to get to a place where I can feel God's presence. Elijah, he says, I got to go back to the place where I know is holy ground. Can I tell you that when you have those deep and dark and hurtful moments, you got to get your tail back to a place where you feel like it's holy ground. You wonder why you feel where you know God's presence is. So Elijah, he's stressed out. Elijah, he has so much on his plate that he says, I just want to get back to God's presence. I wonder this morning, is there anybody in the room who can testify, I just want to be back in God's presence? That I turn the question on you this morning. I want to ask you, what cave are you going to that you thought God's presence was in, but it's really not? What cave are you in this morning that you ran to when the struggles of life came to your doorstep? What cave are you in? Maybe you're in the cave of trying to come to church every time you can because you don't want to go home. Maybe you're in a cave because every night you're drinking away the pain. Maybe you're in a cave of trying to be in relationships when you can't even deal with yourself. Maybe you're in a cave where you go to so many people to try to do stuff for you that you can do for yourself. I asked you simply this morning, what cave are you in? Elijah, he went to the cave. The text says, as he gets there, he lodged there. This means he planned to stay there a long time. And God sent me here to talk to that person that's in the cave right now, and everybody around you doesn't even know it. The text, it says that as Elijah came to the cave, as he sat down, the word of the Lord came to Elijah. And the word of the Lord asked him a question. He said, Elijah, what are you doing here? Beloved, I consider myself a scholar and a theologian. I struggle with the text because I knew, God, you already know why Elijah is here. So why would you ask Elijah a probing question when you already know the answer? Then God said, I want you to take a look back at Adam. When I asked Adam, who told you you were naked? I want you to take a look at Cain when I asked Cain a question, where is your brother? I want you to take a look at Jacob when I asked him, what's your name? I want you to take a look at the man at the pool when I asked him, do you really want to get well? I want you to take a look at the disciples when I asked them, who do they say I am? I want you to take a look at Mary when I ask her, why are you crying? Take a look at Jonah when I asked him, why are you so angry? The reason why I have to ask questions is because I need to cause the person to have a counseling session with me. I need to cause the person to have a realization that they wouldn't have if I didn't ask them the question in the first place. So God, he asked Elijah, he says, what are you doing here? Can I tell you this morning that whenever God has to ask you a question, he's not seeking information. He's trying to have you take a look at yourself and see what you refuse to see. God is saying, Elijah, what are you doing here? I sent you to preach to Israel. I sent you to cause revival, and now you find yourself in a cave. This morning, I want to invite you into my own counseling session. This morning, I want you to sit a chair down. I want you to come on into the room, and I want to simply ask you, what are you doing here? What is it that God has asked you to do that you refuse to do? What are you doing here? Maybe you're in a cave because life has become too much. Maybe you're in a cave because you feel defeated. Maybe you're in a cave because anxiety has become too much. Maybe you're in a cave because of your environments that you came from. Maybe you're in a cave because you're tired of going through divorce after divorce. Maybe you're in a cave because you're tired of looking at yourself. But I simply want to throw the question on the table today, and I want to ask you, why are you here? Beloved, I struggled with the text because watch what Elijah says. Elijah simply says, I've been zealous for you, but they've rejected your covenant. They've torn down your idols. They've killed your prophets, and now they're trying to kill me. What Elijah is saying is, I've done everything right for you, but look at where I am now. Have you ever got frustrated with God to the point where you had to tell God, I've done everything I'm supposed to do, but look at my situation. I've sacrificed. I've tried to live right. I gave my tithe. I tried to be faithful to the person that I'm with, and look at me now. This is where Elijah is in the text. Elijah is at the point where he's expressing his feelings, but Elijah is thinking past tense when God needs Elijah to think future tense. I wonder who in the room is stuck in a cave all because you can't let go of the past. I wonder how many of you are in the cave because you still can't let go of what that teacher said to you. I wonder how many are in the cave because you still are hurting that daddy don't talk to you like he should. I wonder how many of you are still in the cave. All because you're thinking about past tense. Look at what Elijah says. He says, I was zealous for you. I came to Bible study. I came to Sunday school. I was the first one to be at church. I was the first